What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do majority of the standard service maintenance items on your own. You can save a lot of money by doing this, and it's the same kind of service that has to happen every 20K, 40K, 60K, 80K, and the 100K. And you can save a lot of money by doing this on your own. Most of this I've already done, but there's a couple other items on that checklist that we're just going to cross off and make sure that we're good. So for clarity, there's two different service intervals that Audi has. There's the minor maintenance that's supposed to be done every 10,000 and then after every 20,000. So it's supposed to be, the easiest way to remember this is going to be evens and odds. So you're going to do the minor service at every odd interval. So 10K, 30K, 50K, 70K, so forth and so on. And then you're going to do the standard service at every 20K, 40K, 60K, 80K, 100K, so on. And you can see that there's also a line item for some additional items that need to be done. So you'll see that as part of the spreadsheet on the back. And I'll link a copy of this in the description below, so that way you have it for your reference as well. Now, I'm going to be doing this on the 2017 Audi A4, which is the B9 platform. This should be relatively similar on other cars, possibly the A3, the A5, the A6. Not sure about the S line, all the S series, but who knows, it could be. But some of it should be the same. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that, as you can see, it's really cold. My hands are freezing right now, and it's about to rain in about 1 to 2 hours, and it's going to rain for the next 3 days. So there's a couple items on this checklist that I'm not able to do on my own, unfortunately. And so I'm going to be taking it to a local shop that specializes in German cars. And while there, so basically what I'm going to have them do is I'm going to have them do the tire rotation. I'm going to have them do the brake fluid flush, as well as the transmission fluid flush as well. So while the car's there, the car's lifted and the tire's off, I'm just going to have them do a full brake check, suspension check, the wheel bearings, and part of the exhaust as well. So that's something you can do as well if you're interested. But if you also want to learn how to do those things on your own, I'll link a couple of videos in the description as well. And that way it'll give you an idea of what to kind of anticipate and what to kind of look for when you're doing those kind of things on your own. So with a lot of my rambling out of the way, let's get started. Alright, so in my previous videos I've shown you guys how to check the coolant level, how to change the spark plugs, which are located under this cover, change the oil as well as the oil filter, which is right here under this cover as well. We've changed the engine air filter, and we've replaced the washer fluid located there, as well as inspecting the wiper blades. So a majority of the service under the engine has already been checked out. Now there's only a few minor things that you want to look at. So depending on where your vehicle is located, you may or may not have a snow screen, also known as a dust and pollen filter. So that's going to be under this plastic trim right here. So if you take this compartment off, which is just easy to, you can see how I just snapped it right off, and then you put it back on. And to take off the hood latch, there's actually a slot back here where you just disengage and you can take off this latch, so it takes this entire panel off. Your snow screen would be right here. You would just take it off, inspect it, remove the dirt and pollen that might have built up, or the snow, if there's not actually snow, but just remnants of snow or whatever that might be there. Just wash it with warm water and soap. But again, depending on where region your car was delivered to, you might not actually have that filter at all. So here in North America, we don't have that, and I believe in China you don't have that as well. So depending again where it is, you may have to clean this, but we're gonna skip past that. The next thing you want to check are all the plenum valves. So those are located down here under these pop covers. So just grab a flashlight and look inside, and you're just looking to see if there's any kind of water buildup around the drains. You may see a little bit of dirt, which is fine, but if there's any excessive leaves or if you see water building up somewhere in here, that could be a sign that the water is not being drained correctly. So it might just be clogged, and you may have to just remove the leaves that might have built up and the debris. So there's another one on this side. So my engine's pretty filthy. When it gets warmer, I'm going to detail this completely. Now just grab your flashlight, and after changing the fluids and changing the spark plugs or anything like that, what you're looking around the engine is for any kind of pool liquid. Now you could either have an engine oil leak or you could have a coolant oil leak. And if you're checking this in the summer, you might have condensation building up on the AC lines, which is normal. as long as it's just a small drip. If you see anything excessive like a waterfall, that's of concern, but for the most part you should be okay with just a little bit of condensation buildup. So go around and inspect mainly around all the rubber seals. It's a good indicator. If everything is dry, that's a really good sign. But if you see anything like liquidy or oily on any of the hoses or any of the components nearby, that's a sign that you might have a small leak. So make sure you're going in and checking pretty much everywhere around the engine bay. So this looks good. And it's also a good idea to just glance under the car. So there's nothing there. And then now just run the engine as well, so that way you can see if there's anything of concern. So the reason why we're checking with the engine on now versus earlier, so if there was a leak, you could actually stick your hand onto the component or touch it without risk of you getting injured during that check. So here, the main thing you're really looking to is making sure your belt is operating fine. Your belt should be making very, very low noise or like no noise at all pretty much. And you're making sure that it's not wobbly, it's running properly. Go around and do another check. Man, this thing is filthy. Can't wait to detail it, but everything looks good. And again, while it's running, just peek under the car as well. And there's nothing there, so we're good. So now we're gonna check our battery. So lift up the compartment. Now the battery is under the spare tire, so it's gonna take a couple of things to take out. So first thing is your spare tire. So unhook that and then just lift it out. And then this guy comes off as well. And now here's your battery. So you want to look at your terminals and you want to clean them off if you see any kind of acid leakage or any kind of corrosion. And you want to generally inspect around the area as well. Also, just for future reference, if you do ever have to change your battery, it's located down here. You'd unbolt these two, and then there's two bolts down there. So I think this thing comes out. Yeah, this comes out. So you take this out, unhook those two, and then take off this bracket, and you can change your battery like that. Now in my previous video, I've already talked about how to check your PSI, as well as making sure that the condition of the tires are adequate. So I won't cover that now. Now again, the service interval doesn't tell you when you should rotate your tires, but it's a good idea to rotate your tires every time you do an oil change. That way you prolong the life of the threads on the tire itself. So when this goes in for the tire rotation, it's going to be easier to check the entire brake system, as well as check the wheel bearings, as well as check the tie rod ends, drive shaft boots, as well as the underbody. So unfortunately, I can't do all of that right now with the car on the ground, but what you can still do is just grab your flashlight and inspect the rotors. Now on the rotor, you're kind of trying to make sure that there's no rust or any kind of fractures or hairline cracks that you see. It should be a very, very smooth surface. And there's also a way to measure the brake pads using a straw method, which is not reliable, and also a caliper method. So I'll put that link in the video description as well. And overall, again, you can't really see because the tire is in the way, but it's a good idea to just check your entire suspension system as well. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this part, you can just take your car in for a tire rotation, and with the tires off, you can just have the independent mechanic take a look at that as well for you. So now we're just going to do a visual check around the car. And what you're looking for is any kind of rust or anything like that on the car that you should be addressing. You just want to look at the overall condition of the vehicle. And also, it's a good idea to just open up your doors, listen for any squeaks, and there's a metal hinge. And if you just need to, just shoot that with some WD-40 to get that squeak to go away. So I'm just gonna keep this, while I check this, I'm just gonna play some audio. So now we're going to jump into the inside of the car, and there's only a few things that you want to check off here. The first is the instrument cluster. So what you want to look for is any warning signs or anything that may require some further attention. So just scroll through the different tabs and see if there's anything of concern. So you can see that I have no warning lights at all, no check engine light, no warning messages, so I'm good there. Next, you want to check your horn. I just honked at someone about 10 minutes ago while driving here, so I know that the horn works for sure. And then the last thing you want to check are just all your interior and exterior lights. So if you have the ambient lighting package, you want to make sure that all of these lights are working, the door panel lights are working. But I found this very easy to do if you do it at night with the auto setting. So if you turn this thing on, and then you can check all of these all at once. Just do a walk around the car and it'll be a lot easier. So that's really the last step in the entire process, and so I'll record that part as soon as it becomes nightfall, and then we'll be good to go. And there you have it, guys. So it is a weekend project, you know, it does require a lot of work to do, but all of this can be done on your own. There's no issues with you doing it by yourself. If you don't feel comfortable, you can definitely take it to an independent mechanic to do some of the major services, but I don't recommend taking it to a dealership to have them look at your horn, if it's working or not, if your lights are working or not, you know, if your doors are squeaking. A lot of this stuff is very minor and you can easily do on your own. So spark plugs and oil change and cabin air filters, engine air filters, all very straightforward, and I've shown you basically in detail how to do it step by step, so you'll have no problems there. I didn't get a chance to record the brake fluid change as well as the transmission fluid change, which are required at the 40,000 mile mark. Unfortunately, it's just too cold in New Jersey, and I can't safely lift up the car to do that. And I also need a second person to do the brake change, as you need one person to pump the brakes and the other person to bleed the brakes. But definitely in the summer, I'll try to record something like that, maybe on a friend's car or something else like that. But hopefully you found the video helpful, guys. Please do share, subscribe, and like, and I'll definitely be posting more content coming up soon. Again, yeah, hopefully you found the video helpful. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you next time.